Shalom, assalamu alaikum, my friends. So, I'm going to do a garden check, but I want you to understand when I take my phone back in, we're going to look at the same time period of last year, the same time period of this year. Okay, so here you see this thing right here, and it's empty. So I'm going to when I go back inside, we'll take a look at what it should have looked like by now in July. Okay, so over here is my beans and my strawberries. Right here, we got some little strawberry coming in right here, but it's not doing very well at all. Here's the beans. These beans should have already grown all over this thing right here. It looks as if it's stunted. It even has beans already growing. Look how little this little bean plant is right here, and it already has little beans on it. Same with this one, and that's not normal really. It should be way bigger and beans on it, but it looks as if the beans have been stunted for some reason. Now we go over here. Look at the tomatoes. So you get the view of the tomato height is just right here. Around this time, they were way up here, and they were full of tomatoes. Now we do have some tomatoes growing in here. If you see right in here, we have some coming in, some Romas, some little cherry ones right here are coming on the vine. Back there, some. But these should be already way up here. They should already be way up here. Now over here is some corn. I replanted some corn, so I'm going to take these out of here and put those in this ground here. I got to burn all that wood, but look at the corn here. By that time, that corn stalk should be right about that level right there, and you see they're just right there. They're not growing the way that they should at all. Now over here, my flowers are coming up. These are very, very beautiful flowers. I've been planting these for 10 years, and I always reuse the same seed from the flower heads. I dry them out in this winter time, and then the next summer I always replant those generations. So this is a 10th generation plant from the seed of its mother. Now right here is my lettuce, and as you can see, it's not very good. The lettuce I had last year was all this high. No lie, it was huge. I had a lot of lettuce constantly coming out growing. Here is all the cantaloupe and watermelon. These should already have been taken up on this, growing on here, and already on this thing right here. And next month is August, and in August usually they start appearing. Cantaloupes and watermelons will appear in August. But as you can see, these have not done a damn thing, really. They haven't grown. It's as if everything has been stunted. Here are my peppers. Look at these. Stunted. These peppers should be huge, all the way up here with a whole bunch of bell peppers on them already. But they're not. They've been stunted. Here's more flowers that are growing. Those flowers that are right over here. Some more are growing right here. So this whole thing should be covered with beans and cantaloupe and watermelon vine, all that stuff. And it's not. Now let's go back inside, and I will show you my other channel. I have many channels, okay, everyone? I have a lot of different channels. But in this here was last year. I had done a garden in this channel last year. And I will show you, get my remote. So here is my other channel. So chopping some wood. All right. Let's take a look at this to see if this video will show us. All right. See, let's hit We'll go right here and I'll hit pause. All right. All right, hurry up so I don't come back on pause. Okay, so as you see, it was 11 months ago, so 12 months in a year, 11 months. And as you can see, I wasn't lying. Look, these tomato plants, same way up here. The flowers had already bloomed. There's those flowers. They had already bloomed. As you see, the flowers that I have are really not doing anything. So let's see if I take my camera and move my camera in this video around. Doesn't look like it. So let's go over here. I have we will go back. Here I am, I dress up. See, I can be very presentable if I want, everyone. If I want, I just don't care. Garden check. This was 10 months ago, so about the same time we'll do a garden check. Here I'll be walking out like I had started. So when I was at the door to show you the empty tress.
Let us check on it.
Boom. Wait a minute. All right. So, right here, you see, that tress is full, and there are even cantaloupe on it. Even cantaloupe were growing. And all these vines were growing. Beans on that side, all that was growing. So see, I have no reason to lie to anybody. They have done something to our seeds.
This looks like
and not just seeds, but our weather.
Bigger. One's getting bigger.
So let's go. Here's tomatoes. Look how high the tomatoes are all. See, I already had tomatoes back then, red ones.
Cherry tomatoes.
You see, they were huge.
That tastes good. We have a lot of them. I better pick some of these.
So, picking them. Let's see. Okay, so even then, I wash my vegetables, you know, I bring them to my house, washing them, you know.
Just wash them around a bit.
I even had corn already. See, there's a bucket of corn right here.
Right.
So I had pulled some corn as well. And as you see, this time around, I don't really have anything. You understand? So this is a warning. I understand when God does this because I am always blessed in my garden, always. So when this takes place, it is a warning for me that famine is coming to this American land. And the crops aren't going to be very well, and it's only going to get worse and worse. So I don't, I don't know if it's the seed that they have destroyed, or is it what they have done in the atmosphere, the rain? Now you understand that they're releasing gases from derailed trains, poison. All that poison goes into the atmosphere, into the clouds. And these clouds will go around through, where the wind blows. These clouds, after I know the name of what happens when the water evaporates and it goes up into the clouds. When the clouds get full, then it starts to rain. So you imagine that all this poison that we're releasing, all this new technology that we're trying to use creates this new waste in our atmosphere. And this is poisoning, creating water. I believe it's creating poisonous water that when it rains on our grounds, it's actually damaging the roots or stunting the roots of the plants themselves. And our crops are getting very bad. And this is going to make weak nutrition. In fact, weak nutrition, because the plants aren't rigorous, you know what I mean? And so when they produce vegetables or fruits or something like that, they're not going to be very nutritious. They're going to lack nutrition. So when you eat them, sure, you may feel full because of you're filling your belly up with the material of the plant, but the vitamin nutrition of the plant is very low And I believe this is going to make immune systems in people very weak. And in doing that, people are going to start getting sicker easier. You understand? Because when you have an immune system, you need the vitamins, nutrients, electrolytes, all that type of stuff to keep your immune system strong. And if you are ingesting things that are very non-nutritious, your immune system gets weaker and weaker, and it can't fight off infections, it can't fight off certain things, this and that, right? And here I'm documenting my own garden for people to see this clearly. And sure, there was trouble in the beginning of my gardening with the raccoon pulling up the plants, and but I had other plants. I had plants that were growing that the raccoon hadn't messed with, right? And those are still stunted as well. So it's not the animal, what the animal was doing, because that happened every year that I would plant a garden. I always had enough for the animal to eat and for me to eat. God always did that. This year, it is God showing me, like, look, I am about to curse this land. You know, it says in in God's word, it says that when God punishes, the people of the earth, first the Jew, then the other people get punished. First, God starts at his altar. At the altar, God starts, and then he goes out from his altar, and the wrath of God goes out from there. So if the Most High God is with me, think about this. If he's with me, and you have seen throughout my history of my videos, he has blessed me. I found things in the garbage, clothes, all sorts of kinds of wonderful things God has blessed me with throughout my time. And now God is showing me something else with our food, and he's doing it by my garden, because if God is here with me, you understand, God is with me, he's going to start at the place where he's at first. And that's going to spread out. So, first the Jew, and in that manner I am Bani Israel. So that would be me. I don't practice religion, mind you, but I am Bani Israel. So he's starting with me, and I can see it, and I'm telling people, look, man, God is about to send. What is happening to me, it's going to happen to everyone. Globally, this is going to happen. In certain parts. And there is I'm not going to say anything about this yet. But I believe that this is a warning, and for me, because I'm supposed to be sharing the word of God with people, this warning's also, and I'm trying to share with people this. So, like I say, if we don't repent and get rid of these foul people in our democracy and government and technology, and get rid of all that nonsense, and go back to just being normal human beings that work and till the ground and don't do bad things, and not fornicating and adultery and foul stuff, right? We got to stop all that. If not, God's going to punish us. You see? And in this manner, I'm aware of it now, and this is why I seek to leave. I'm seeking to leave very soon. Get the hell up out of America, because I know it's bad. So here I have stored up, beans. Look at all my beans. I don't want to fall. But this is a whole belt of beans. I got beans back here. I got rice, beans, rice, spaghetti. I keep noodles, even in here. I got lentils, more beans, different kinds of beans, more rice, bunches of rice. I got popcorn, more popcorn. So all the things that I know will last, that are seed, right? They're seeds. I am storing and keeping safe from the manipulation of people. So that way, when they have destroyed our food, I'm going to have things for us to grow and produce the good seed back out. So even in here, I have even more. Look at that. I stock up on beans, rice, different kinds of beans. Even noodles, different noodles, right? I got noodles and stuff like that. And here I got flour. I got bags of flour inside my container. So all this is flour here, flour, right? I got cream of wheat, a whole bunch of oatmeal as well. because oatmeal lasts, so I keep that. I got more rice up here, peanuts, stuff like that. I'll get anything that I can, eat now and plant to grow for more. That is what I am storing up and collecting and saving, because I believe that a famine is about to come upon the land in America. And it says, woe unto the nursing mothers in those days, and pray that our flight does not take place in the winter time, when winter hits. Pray that our flight to try to get a fuck out of here doesn't happen in winter. So, I don't know, This is it. This is what's happening, though, I'm telling you. I also store up, Jello. I get Jellos and pudding. Jello and pudding. I like this as pistachio. It's got little nuts in it as well, so it has some protein as well in it. But Jello and all that I store because you can just add water. And I also have a container, this big container out here. I'll show you. So if something happens, water-wise to us, I have this big, huge container right here that I can boil my water and then fill it up and put it inside this big, huge gallon here. It has a mount right here for a pump. Right here, I can mount a pump on here, and here's the little tube, and it goes on here, and it goes in here, and then I can go like this and crank and pump water for myself, clean, fresh water. So I do have that, or I also, I have the way I have this designed here. This right here, all the water runs down to there, and if need to collect water when it rains, I can let the rain fall in a big barrel, and then I can boil that water and then bring that water and put that boiling water in the big container for myself. So I have that. So I will be surviving, and I think sometimes in this manner of what I'm doing, I think it is also a way that I can help people, because when it all hits us, and maybe this is how people will understand who I am as well, because I will have so much beans and rice and stuff like that I can help people. People will come and I can feed you for a day, give you some rice and some beans, some tomatoes, bread, whatever we can make, just to try to survive, to make it through, winter time or something else. Maybe in this manner, this is how I meet 313 companions. Maybe that's how I come across 313, is because their families and they're seeking help. They have no food or something, and they come across my videos or something. They come and they find me during the time when civil war break out or something else will happen. They'll come and find me, and I can help them, and we can survive and read the Word of God and stuff like that. You understand? I don't know. I'm just, like I said, this is all speculating because we're in the living. I'm just trying to come up with different scenarios of how it will happen, how all this can be taking place, because like I said, I'm not looking for fame and fortune. I don't care about any of that stuff. But when it come down to the nitty gritty and people need help, I am a very compassionate. I will help. Whatever I can do, I always have done. Even when I was a child, when I was in Tiger Cubs, that's another thing for people to understand. That the Scouts of Imam Mahdi, in Saudi Arabia, they have this thing called the Scouts of Imam Mahdi, and they're like the Boy Scouts of America, but it's their title carries with my name, and I find that very cool. Like, I really do. I think it's very cool, because when I looked up when it was founded, and I looked it up, the same time that they founded the Scouts of Mahdi, is the same time I actually joined in America a thing called Tiger Cubs. Same year, I believe it was 1981, something like that. I was 7 years old. You have to be 7. So I was born in 1977. So you do the math and you figure, like, I believe it's 1980, 1981, around that time somewhere. You know, when the Mahdi Scouts were, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 80. So like 1984, around that same time, I joined and became a Tiger Cub. They created the Scouts for kids in Saudi Arabia, and I thought that was amazing because I've always loved camping. I loved scouting. It was the only thing. My parents, I have to tell people this. It's embarrassing, but my parents didn't really, want me around much. So they would always send me anytime a scouting event took place. Chris, you get to go somewhere, and they pack me up a bag, and they'd pay the money for whatever, and that I went, and I was always gone like that. I don't really know. It's hard to explain to people, but I grew up with 2 sisters and 3 other brothers, my mother and my father. Adopted. These are adopted, but I did have some. Everybody was a half to me. They weren't full-blooded. They were halves when we were growing up. 2 of them were by another complete, the adopted mother and a husband that she had before. But I never was really close to them in a manner like you people, because I was always gone. Like they made sure that I would go here, you got scouts coming up, right? I get to go camping for weeks or months. Jamboree happened, or this happened, and it was like for them, they knew, we can get rid of Chris. We don't need him here. And it wasn't that I was a troublemaker. Most of the time I spent my time by myself, but I don't think they understood me and the problems that I was having, because the way that I was born with some issues, and I don't want to get into it, but I had a lot of things that were not the normal growing up. So this I understood. It made them a headache for them to adopt a child who they thought was normal, but find out no. And so then when I got sliced as well right through here when I was like 4 or 5 years old, think around 3 or 4 that took place. I believe that it made me it's hard to, what is the word I'm looking for? Not dumb. It made me cloudy, unaware. Whatever someone told me to do, I just do it because I'd not think for myself. I couldn't. My brain was not, wouldn't work. Like how I have now, where this wants to twitch and weird thing happening. I can't eat. Sometimes different things take place, right? So nobody understood it throughout my whole life. So I was kind of mistreated in that manner. I used to get whoopings. When I wet my bed, I'd get whooped, and I wet my bed because I had a medical condition, and I had a undescended testicle operation that was done later in life. So just a whole bunch of stuff that happened to me, really, really messed up. So that's that, But be aware that I'm telling you, my garden has not done very well, and it has been stunted. So something is happening, and I believe we're going to become going into famine very soon. Very soon. And this is all because of our leaders. They have caused this because they want to force technology. They want to force this 4th diverse beast upon the whole world, and they don't care how they do it, as long as they can make more money and profit and get control over everyone. They don't care who or what they harm to do it. And I believe this is going to be great devastation for us. And this is the manner of the 7 bowls of God's wrath when it's poured out, is because of the decisions that are being made by our leaders, which creates the 7 bowls. And I can get into those type of scenarios for people into a greater understanding of the meaning of that, all that, and not in fabrication of hocus pocus, but actual in reality. Like I tell you, how jinn get born. You know, jinn are get born because of something outside. So I'm not hateful. So, but if there is something that is outside of me that causes me, I see something I don't like, I see this or that, and it becomes an influence. Or let's say I see a whole crowd of people, you know, something bad happening to them or something, and it creates anger and stuff in me. If you allow that to bubble up, it creates a jinn, and then the jinn is born. God allows life to that emotion or that feeling, and that emotion or feeling manifests itself in the temple that you are, and then you act it out. You do the thing. So that's why it's important to always Israel and jihad within your own self when these jinn want to take birth, when these things, because you can keep it from being born. You can stop it. You can struggle with God and say, no, we don't want evil born. We don't want to create evil. We're going to ignore it. We're going to pray, fast, whatever, you know, to keep it from taking fruit. And that's how you destroy devils and stuff. And then, like I had said, if you have certain other devils, like the man who ate the pig, when he got his brain infected with that crazy virus from the pig, and he had many jinn that were inside him, how you could just kill all the pigs, get rid of all the pigs, otherwise you keep eating it, you'll never get well. So if you keep like hate and anger, you keep festering it, it's going to grow and you'll never get well. And you'll manifest, jinn will get born from inside you, and they're created from fire. So you understand the fire from your heart. That's what God is talking. When God created the jinn from fire, that's what he's saying. When he created these things from fire, it's emotion. That he creates his angels are emotion. So even the angels have names, and their names mean stuff. They are all attributes of God. So Michael is who is like God. You know, and these are attributes. These are sayings about God. So you can get Azazel, Beelzebub. You get all these different jinn, and you look at these, and these are created from the fires, and these are the emotions from your heart. It's the same way that there is a thing in Proverbs. It says that a man who is jealous of, you know, his wife or other people or something, it is like he is carrying a hot coal in his pouch. It'll burn through you, right? So this is what I try to explain to people, the reality, not the hocus pocus that they try to teach you in Hollywood, where devils and demons have horns and tails and all this other goofy shit. All religions teach the nonsense. Even in Islam, they teach some crazy stuff I've read, you know. Oh, all day long an angel's going to crush your head with a rock. Really? You think angels are going to sit there? You think... That's why I try to explain to people, God is not going to allow these things to even exist anymore. The people who reject God won't exist. They'll be like, they'll be gone. They're poof, gone. God has no need to keep tormenting somebody for eternity. Why would God sit there and keep someone alive in the spirit to be tormented over and over for eternity? That's a little crazy. They're just not going to exist. Period. That's hell. That's hell. That's if you can understand. It's like, you know, have you ever been ignored by groups of people? You know, you want to speak, you want to do it, and everybody ignores you. That feeling you get, you know, you feel that. So I believe there's a greater thanks to these interpretations that they're giving everyone. There's much greater meaning to all this. That is more realistic, more reality-like. Because like I said, do you really think for the rest of eternity that God, who is good, is going to sit there and keep things life, because God is life? Do you really think he's going to sit there in life and keep punishing people for it with this goofiness. I mean, that's fantasy land. That's about as crazy as Moses turning sticks into snakes in that manner. So just be aware that it's happening. It's coming. I believe famine will be coming. We have to look at the 7 bowls and see which ones are first, and we'll see which takes place. Is it a war? Is it famine? Is it 1/3 of the earth gets population is wiped out? These type of things taking place, and all this, and like I say, all these bowls of wrath are caused by men because of this choice decision that they're making, creating our planet the way it is. And this will be the wrath, right? If you are good, what need is there of wrath if you are doing good? All right? Okay, my friends, shalom. Assalamu alaikum.